First of all, then, Blackpool, a club you know from a brief time you spent there a few years ago. Talk us through that as an experience as a much younger player.
Yeah, it was good. It was good to get in and around some games at that time, at that stage of my career, where I was trying to sort of find myself as a player, if you like, and what position would suit me best, things like that, and get just a different experience. And thankfully, going down there, I had someone I played with at Rangers, Barry Ferguson, who was already there, so it made it a little bit easier for me.
So, how kind of formative was it then to learn from somebody like that in learning your craft and learning your trade?
Yeah, it was great. Obviously, at that point in the time, it was just fantastic to know someone going moving away from home for the first time at that point. So yeah, just to have that sort of comfort around about me was a massive help.
It's interesting because I was going to talk to you today about adapting and adapting to what Slavisa Kanovic wants you to do now and how you're finding that process. Because from playing in the team as you did, you're now playing in a midfield that's got kind of two number 10s to contend with as well, and how that affects you.
Yeah, it's a little bit different for everyone in the team really, not just me. So yeah, there's been a lot of adapting, and we're still adapting just now. We're still trying to improve. As you've seen in certain parts of certain games, even at the weekend when we were 3-0 up, we still couldn't see it out well enough as we should have had for ourselves. So yeah, we're still learning on the job right now, and hopefully we can just continue to go forward.
Do you find that how Slavisa Kanovic wants you to play is slightly deeper then?
Potentially at times, yeah. Listen, there's obviously times when we're trying to play out from the back, and obviously other times when we can't do that. So it's a mixture of both. It's football at the end of the day, isn't it? It's just slightly different positions at certain points of a game. So I think the overall aspect of how we're playing now, obviously trying to keep a bit more possession than what we have done in the past.
And it's interesting, isn't it? I mean, when Sheffield United are on it and are attacking, you look really quite formidable. It's that defensive side of things that's the Achilles heel right now. Would you agree?
Yeah, well, it has been, yeah, and that's the whole team. Obviously, defenders and the midfielders mostly need to improve in that aspect. But I think from any team, it's defending that starts from the front as well. So yeah, as I say, we're trying to improve every day, and trying to listen to the manager, and keep learning off his staff.
And is it kind of a structural thing, an individual thing? How would you sum it up?
All three of them, to be honest. It's as we all know, it's a new sort of structure compared to what the majority of us boys have been used to over 4.5 years working under Chris. So when you've been sort of drained into something every day for 4.5 years, sometimes it can be difficult to come out and go into a different system straight away. And I think we are still learning on the job now.
I just wonder with this, whether we and fans have to accept that maybe defensively you're not going to be as sound. I mean, Slavisa Kanovic's teams, nobody talks about the defence first, they talk about the attacking and the things they've achieved doing that, and whether if you do concede sort of 30 goals at home, you might end up scoring 50. It's that type of thing that we have to get used to.
Yeah, well, obviously we've certainly conceded too many goals of late, but I think if you ask the manager, the first thing he wants to do is get a clean sheet. Obviously, when you're winning games, if you win 3-2, 4-2, whatever, everything's all great at that time, and the fans aspect. But us as players and a group with the manager, we want to try and keep clean sheets.
Do you feel as though, in terms of performance, over most of the last 4 or 5 matches, a degree of consistency is coming? I mean, even in defeat at Bournemouth, things were pretty good. It rolled into the Stoke game, which obviously you won. Good for the most part at Barnsley the other day. Things are starting to come together.
Yeah, good. Well, first half we probably weren't at it enough at Barnsley, that in my own personal opinion. We obviously got the quick goals in the second half, and then after we scored the 3 goals, we weren't at our best again. So it's consistency is the biggest thing, especially at this level, and the quicker we can get that, the better. Because we're not where we want to be right now, but we're not too far away either if we can get that bit of consistency going.
And it's an extraordinary division, isn't it? The fact that you're only a couple of points off the playoffs. There's 5 or 6 teams on 21. It might only take a couple of weekends, and things just, even though it's still early, will look a lot better.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. If you can go to 2 or 3 games with good results, you'll be there or thereabouts for the playoffs, and right now that's our aim. Obviously with the weekend coming up, I think Blackpool, I've not actually looked at the table, but they're round about that sort of area as well, so it makes it a big occasion for us.
And what about you? How are you assessing your own kind of contribution right now?
A bit of a mixed bag, to be honest. The main thing for me personally is always going out and working my hardest and trying my best. That comes first for me personally. Obviously I'd like to think, hopefully in the coming weeks I'll play a bit better on the ball if I can, and try and get back to being that player again. But as I say, it's been a change for everyone, and I'm still learning on the job as well.
Yeah, and is that part of it then? As you say, look, for everybody, things just haven't gone for you at times, and you've said that it's not happened for you in certain areas, but it's kind of coming along together.
Yeah, and I'm enjoying it, to be honest. I absolutely love the way they're working. They're all a great squad about the manager, and all the boys love the way they work and want to play, and we keep trying to get better at it.
And presumably, just finally from me, from a purely individual perspective, getting back in the Scotland squad as soon as you can.
Well, yeah, I said this before. I think that the most important thing for me this season is trying to get back to playing as well as I can for Sheffield United, and trying to get to where we want to be as a club. And I think we all know where that is at the end of the season, and that's the most important thing for me.